evening, race fans, as we are welcoming you out here to the Sinister 125 at the Bullring in the city of Sins in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just on the outskirts of that, we see the big 1.5-mile track in the corner. This is Upstate Al. Alongside me, my good friend Kelly Hall, and Kelly on one of what they call Halloween week here, where everybody's getting dressed up. We got a lot nice looking race cars and a little competition going on the North-South Facebook page as well. We'll get that information up here in just a little bit, but welcome out here to Vegas once again.
Yeah, a little bit of a Halloween paint contest. You see a lot of these guys, as you mentioned, all dressed up in their Halloween colors. So, fun event, gives these guys a little bit of a variation on their paint schemes tonight, but will make our recognition a little bit harder for us here with our cameras. We should have maybe done up a spotter guide for ourselves here, but I'm sure we will manage to get through it here tonight. And it's the Bullring, as you mentioned. It is going to be a very fiery race, I think, because as mentioned, it is a tough track to pass at. It is very tight corners, very flat track. So I think it's pretty much only one line around here in the corners. So you may see a little bit of bumping and banging throughout 125 laps here as these guys will jockey for position.
It definitely will be, and I think we're going to see a lot of side-by-side racing. That bottom line, though, as you are alluded to, the preferred lane around here. So let's take a look at tonight's racing information presented by ZooFab Garage. And like I said, Las Vegas, Nevada, just underneath 0.4 mile of a racetrack. Only be a quick one, 46.25 miles in length, 125 laps is the scheduled distance. They've had 2 street stock races here in the series history, where Dante Curtis holds on to the track record as we get ready to go with the Double-Wiser pole session, or qualifying session, however you want to say that. The number of winners, all dirt, Dante Curtis, Will Eastman, and point standings coming in here though to tonight. Ryan Johnson has a very slim margin over the number 2 of Bryan Hacker.
Yeah, very slim. It is only 7 points separating those two drivers. As mentioned, we had the drop weeks kick in starting this week, so we will now see exactly where everyone stands leading up into the last few weeks of the season. So very tight race for the championship, and it is going to be close from here on out.
Yeah, 32 points separating your top 5, as you see there on the left-hand side of your screen. It is Ryan Johnson, the top of the points, over Bryan Hacker, Scott Austin, Gary Eschen, and Dustin Shepard. But as we get ready to go into Double-Wiser qualifying, we would like to thank everybody for tuning on in here to the ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series. And ZooFab Garage, located in Tennessee, is your one-stop shop for fabrication and power for your performance vehicle, track car, or street car. Find them on Facebook to contact them and start your next project today. Kelly's Custom Engraving is locally owned and operated business in North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving of wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow them on their Facebook page to view all their amazing products and place your order today. RC2 Promotions is your event organizer specializing in iRacing competition. Whether you need the whole event managed or just race day or some parts in between, reach out to Robbie at facebook.com/RC2RP. Are you in the market for a new design for your streaming channel? Well, Wizards Design is a custom sign maker located in Illinois, specializing in logo signage for streamers. Signs with LED lighting, laser coat wood, and changing colors. Also making beanbag boards, flag designs, and so much more. Check them out on Facebook for all of their products. J&G Hardwood Flooring is a family-owned business which started in 2005. Located in Tennessee, it serves all of Middle Tennessee. Owners Josh and Brandon have over 35 years of experience to serve all of your flooring needs. From new construction, remodels, or even small repairs, for estimates and scheduling, call 615-904-2218. And Dulawise, our Fast Time Award, is the proud sponsor of the Dulawise qualifying session. Matt Dula is the proud owner of Dulawise, located in Columbus, Ohio. Cold brews, good times, political conversations, and of course, the drink of choice at the races. Dulaweiser is the official drink of the NSRL. Dulaweiser asks all drivers to please drink responsibly. And Kelly, right now qualifying out onto the racetrack, and about done, but we got Braden Campbell coming up off the corners. We take a look at your fast time on the screen, and it is Dustin Shepard with a new track record of 15.68, and so far your top 7 cars have all broken the track record here this evening.
Yeah, there have only been 2 previous street stock races here, and we suspect that track record was going to be broken tonight after they announced that it was going to be held late at night here. We are just approaching at 10 o'clock in the sim, so the track is going to be nice and cool, lots of grip for these drivers, and they are motoring around here. I mean, you said not only is it a new track record, it's a new track record by about 0.2 of a second for just Dustin Shepard.
Yes, Shepard putting down a flyover lap. How about this driver, the 75 of Mike Alexander? Told me he forgot to pack the orange rims in the hauler. He's got the chrome on there. I still think it looks good, but Mike, you're fired from packing the hauler. That's all I'm going to say.
And it looks like he may have had an issue with his lap. He pulled off right as he was crossing the line, so unfortunately he's going to be currently listed as a 16.9. I don't know if he's going to go and try to attempt a second. Actually, no, that was his second lap. So he made a mistake on the first lap, which did not count. And then I think he tried to slow it up before he started this or finished the second lap, but I don't think it mattered. He's going to be listed all the way at the back of this field. I think the only person that's going to be starting behind him is going to be Ryan Johnson, who is going to have to take the winner's penalty.
Yeah, remember the top 8 will make it into tonight's RC2 Promotions redraw. Ryan Johnson being a winner last week at the Five Flags Speedway. He will have to slide back in there. And a new quick time. This is number 2 of Bryan Hacker. 1:05.67 and a new track record here at the Bullring. And we got one other driver out on the racetrack. That would be the 69 of Randy Nichols. He's going to come across in his Hale Salin, number 69. He's going to go 15th quick. So Bryan Hacker going to take that Dulaweiser Fast Time Award here tonight, Kelly, and setting a new track record. He'll be the first man to draw once we get into that RC2 Promotions redraw, which will be coming up here momentarily. We'll start.
And I believe this is going to be the first time Bryan Hacker's taken a fast time of the season, which is quite surprising considering how quick he's been in the races. And looking through the standings, it's actually surprising. All of the top 5 have 0 fast times. All of the rest of the fast time awards have gone to the drivers that are 6th to 10th in the standings.
Yeah, you know, and it just speaks out to just how good the competition is here. You know, everybody really on top of each other. I think we've only had a few repeat drivers running that Dulaweiser fast time. As we head in there, let's take a look at we'll head right into, our RC2 Promotions top 8 redraw. We'll get the top 8 drivers. Will be the top 9, as Ryan Johnson will not be allowed to do so, but we'll take and get those drivers up here onto the stage for all you race fans watching at home. And Kelly, you did fast work tonight.
I didn't do anything. These guys have already lined up. I don't know if it was someone else behind the scenes getting these guys all wrangled up, but we have got all 8 of our drivers ready to go.
You see the numbers that get populated along the bottom. Those are the numbers that they are going to have to choose from. Where will they start? Well, nobody knows. That's the part of the redraw, and we're going to drag up the fastest man and the new track record holder here at the Bullring. And Bryan Hacker setting a new track record with a time of 15.674. Not only did you reset the track record, you obliterated it by over 0.2 of a second. How's the car feeling out there tonight?
Not too bad. It's a little loose on entry. I think you'll see some guys get the rear ends kicked out from underneath them from time to time. Hopefully it doesn't cause any big stack ups, but overall feels pretty good. I like this track. I'm excited to be here.
Well, you get the lay of the land. 1 through 8 is available. What number would you like to choose here to take off the board for the first time tonight?
Yeah, last year I had terrible luck at this, and I was trying to pick numbers that made sense, so I'm going to pick a number that I have no ties to, and number 4.
Number 4. 4 comes off the board, and he reaches in. It's going to be P6. Bryan going to start on the outside of row number 3. Probably not what you were looking for, but 125 laps. Can you get it done from there?
Yeah, we've got time. We'll just got to be patient and be smart and run our race.
Well, we wish you the best of luck here tonight. Congratulations on that Dolowiser Pole Award.
Thank you.
All right, Kelly, that was Bryan Hacker. I believe you've caught up with Dustin Shepard.
Yeah, catching up now with Dustin Shepard. And Dustin, seems like a very grippy track here tonight, a very fast track. How are you feeling on the after the qualifying?
Pretty good. So I left a little bit on the table. We just gotta keep the right rear under it. Like I said, the times don't fall off a ton over a long run. I mean, like I said, of course you can't run a heater every lap, but O's and ones, you can go a long way running O's. So I mean, we'll see. Like I said, there's a lot of grip in the track, like you said. So if the track temp stays down, it should be a fast race.
All right, well, Bryan Hacker has already taken number 4 and claimed P6. So what number would you like tonight?
I'm going to do it for Dale again, I guess. Watch it be P8, but...
Number 3 is going to be P7. Not quite 8.
I hate the random draw.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Dustin, here tonight. Thank you for being a part of the RC2 Promotions Top 8 redraw.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Well, Kelly, he did not like it. Well, almost the back row completely gone. Now we've got 6th and 7th starting spot figured out. And we're going to bring up on the stage the driver of the 46, Philip Martin, here on a spooktacular night with a nice-looking hot rod out there, Mr. Martin. And I know the fans can get on the North-South Facebook page and vote throughout tonight's race. The driver with the most likes will have a chance to win some extra cash and a nice-looking hot rod out there. How's it feel underneath you here tonight? You put it P3 in Dolowiser Pole Award qualifying.
Yeah, I don't know where that lap came from. I was kind of a little bit surprised, but it's not bad. We'll see how it is. This place kind of gets funky once you start going, so it's easy to miss your mark and lose 2 or 3 tenths a lap. So,
all right. Well, numbers 3 and 4 are off the boards. That was P6 and P7 for the drivers that qualified in front of you. What number would you like?
we'll go. You said 3 was open or no?
3 and 4 have both been chosen.
I'll take 5.
He's gonna take the number 5. Number 5 is going to be outside pole, P number 2 for you, Phil.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Best of luck here tonight. That's Philip Martin in the 46. You can vote for his favorite paint. If he's your favorite paint scheme, head on over to Facebook at the North-South Facebook page and make sure you hit the like on what car you'd like to see win. Kelly, you've caught up with 4th place qualifier Matt Cook.
Yeah, sitting here now with Matt Cook, as you mentioned, 4th fastest in the qualifying. But Matt, what are you expecting from this race here tonight at the Bullring?
I'm expecting chaos. I feel like probably everybody else is, but it should be a fun night.
All right, well, 3, 4, and 5 have all been taken. So what would you like for your choice here tonight in the redraw?
Let's go with number 1.
Number 1 comes off the board, and Kelly, you got the number.
Yeah, number 1 is going to be the right number to pick tonight. You are starting on pole, Matt.
Wow, that's awesome.
You expect it to maybe go flag to flag and be able to take pole all the way to a win tonight?
No, I just hope to lead a couple laps and then see what happens from there.
All right, well, good luck to you, Matt. We'll see how you can do starting on that pole position, and maybe you can hang on there. We'll talk to you later tonight.
Thanks, guys.
So that was Matt Cook, 4th fastest in qualifying, but he will be leading the field to green. And Al, I think you're catching up with our next driver.
Yeah, we're catching up with a driver that went 5th quick overall, still with under a 10th from the fast time, and another driver to break in the old track record, Adam Gable. And Gable, this car looking pretty good out there tonight. How do you feel your chances are at putting it in victory lane?
Hopefully we can just keep this thing clean tonight. It's going to be hard to pass. If you get stuck on the outside, you're probably going to the back.
One of this track, one of those tough ones. Do you think with the cooler temperatures that we might see 2 lanes, or you think it'll still be pretty dominant around the bottom?
It'll probably be dominant on the bottom. I mean, like you said, if you get off the bottom, you're probably going to get freight trained to the back.
All right. Well, we're halfway through the RC2 Promotions Top 8 redraw. We've got numbers 2, 6, 7, and 8 left to choose from. Which number would you like?
Let's do 6.
Number 6 is going to come off the board and out of the bag. It's going to be P number 3 for you. So, going to start P number 3 for car number 91. How's that sound?
Sounds good. It's on the inside. I like it.
We wish you the best of luck here tonight, and we'll see what you can do. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you a little bit after 125 laps.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks, guys.
All right. There's Adam. He's going to start in P number 3 there. We got 3 numbers left to choose. You've got Travis Hoffler up next with Kelly.
Yeah, here now with Travis, our 6th fastest in qualifying. What are your expectations here tonight, Travis?
I'll just try to make it to the end.
It seems like everyone is just trying to make it to the end. It seems like it is going to be a survival race. Is that what you're expecting here tonight?
Yeah, I ain't feeling the hottest today, so hopefully I'll make it the whole race and just get to the end. That's my goal.
All right, well, still on the board are numbers 2, 7, and 8, and positions 4, 5, and 8. So what would you like here tonight?
Give me 8.
Number 8 is Kelly.
Unfortunately, 8 is going to be P number 8. So Travis is going to be dropping back a couple positions. So hopefully you will be able to make your way up towards the front there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The outside should be all right for a little bit, but we'll see.
All
Thank
right,
you, guys.
Travis. Well, hopefully we will talk to you later tonight. Good luck tonight, and we'll see you possibly at the end of 125 laps.
Yep, hopefully.
All right, that was Travis Heffler, our 6th fastest qualifier, but he will be starting at the back of the redraw in P number 8. So now, Al, I think we're going to be moving on. We're going to be skipping over Ryan Johnson since he will be getting EOL. So let's move on to Rodney Huntoon.
Yeah, catching up with the driver of that number 12 car, and it's sharp looking one. Another driver sporting a Halloween scheme here at the Sinister 125, and Rodney putting it up in the RC2 Promotions Top 8 redraw. The best news I can give you is you can either end up 4th or 5th, so you're still moving forward.
Well, that's a plus.
How's it feeling out there for you tonight?
It's right on the edge.
Right on the edge. That's what everyone's been telling us here. We look forward to seeing what this number 12 is. Hopefully we can get you some votes on the North-South Facebook page for your good-looking hot rod out there. But we have numbers 2 and number 7 left to draw from. Which one would you like?
I'll take number 2.
Number 2. That is going to be P5, so an inside starting spot for you, Rodney. We've heard that some drivers think that it's going to be a bottom side track. What's your thoughts about being able to start on the inside?
That's going to be a plus. The outside is definitely slippery tonight.
We wish you the best of luck here tonight, and hopefully we'll be talking to you maybe a little bit later for the 120 after the 125 laps.
All right, thank you, Al.
And Kelly, I believe you're caught up with our final RC2 Promotions Top 8 redraw driver, Mr. Josh Nelms.
Yeah, catching up with Josh Nelms. And Josh, a lot of drivers saying it is very sketchy on entry in these cars. Is that what you're feeling tonight as well?
Yeah, the track all of a sudden changed a little bit from qualifying, and it's car's gotten really loose, so it's going to be on your edge of your seat the whole race. I think conserving tires, make sure you don't burn the tires off in the long race.
Well, unfortunately, since you are the last driver in the redraw, you don't have a choice here. But the good news is you aren't going to be dropping back. You're going to be moving forward. You are starting P number 4 tonight.
Hey, that's cool. I think track position is going to be good for tonight, and making sure that you can manage and maintain. And then, if we get green flag pit stops, this is a tricky pit road.
All right, well, we're going to let you get running. We are getting ready to go racing, so good luck here tonight, Josh.
Thank you.
That was Josh Nelms. He's going to be starting in P number 4 tonight. And Al, we are just about getting ready to go green here tonight.
Yeah, and we want to thank you all for being a part of the RC2 Promotions redraw. RC2 Promotions is an iRacing special event organizer that can help manage your special events. They offer quality consulting, event planning, and promotion and full-service event management for competitive prices. If you have an idea for a special event, RC2 Promotions can make it happen. They can handle every detail of your event, from recruiting competitors to race day event management. With 7 years of experience on iRacing and over 10 years of experience in special event planning, RC2 Promotions can make your idea a reality. Inquiries can be made to Robbie at facebook.com/RC2RP. And just like that, we are getting ready to go green flag racing. But before we do that, Kelly, we will get to our starting lineup for tonight's 125 lap Sinister race here for the ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series. And it's going to be Matt Cook and Philip Martin up on the front row. Adam Gable and Josh Nelms, row number 2. Rodney Huntoon and Bryan Hacker, your new track record holder in the Doleweiser Pole Award, to the Bryan Hacker will start 6. Dustin Shepard and Travis Hoffler will round out your top 8. Starting in spot number 9, or scheduled to start number 9, was Josh Nelms, and outside him will be the 5 of Scott Austin.
Yeah, then lining up, we're going to have the 72 of Shane Leverage, then the 33, Braden Campbell. Dan Jan will be in 13th, Will Easton in 14th. Randy Nichols starts in 15th in the 69 car. Mark Keeler 16th, Jonathan Cross 17th, 18th, Ray Ricker. Chad McLeod in 19th, Matthew Allen in 20th, Mike Alexander in 21st, and then we will have Ryan Johnson at the back of the field.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson going to start at the tail due to his win 1 week ago. Pace car down and away for the first time tonight in the Sinister City 125. Green flag is up and we are underway.
Yeah, Matt Cook going to lead the field into turn number 1. A lot of these drivers, as they mentioned, the car is loose on entry, and we are seeing a car going around. It looks like the 72 of Shane Leverage. He's going to save it, but I think someone else lost it further back in the field, and we are going to get our first caution of the night. Looks like Braden Campbell, Will Eastman, and Mark Keeler all involved on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, Braden Campbell losing the front bumper here early on in this one. Lap number 1, Mark Keeler with some damage as well. Let's see what happened to start this one off down here in the turn number 1. They come down into the corner number 1 and a stack up on the outside. Oh, the 72 Leverage goes around and so did the 33. So kind of 2 separate incidents, Kelly, as the 72 of Shane Leverage just spun to the inside in that sharp looking Halloween's paint scheme. But then it was Braden Campbell that went around, and he's got some front end damage to that. But as Matt Cook is holding on to your race lead, and Ryan Johnson going to move up 3 spots because of that. There you see some of these paint schemes out on the racetrack. We're looking at the number 75 of Mike Alexander. He's got a nice looking hot rod out there. We know Shane Leverage in the 72 as well. All these drivers are up on the North-South Racing League Facebook page, and they need your help to win a cash prize. Make sure you get up there and like their paint schemes. We know Philip Martin's got a nice looking one. That's a sharp looking one, isn't it, Kelly?
Oh yeah, a number of great looking cars here tonight, and kind of just allowing the guys to show off their own painting skills or the painting skills of their friends, as a few of them will contract their paint schemes out to a couple of their buddies. So great opportunity to have these guys kind of show off a little bit, and gives us a little bit of variation and color to the field tonight. So we see, looks like another car coming down pit road to get some repairs. That is Will Eastman, who is involved in that wreck and was quite banged up. I think we are getting our choose cone here. So yeah, Philip Martin will be going to the high side, and not surprisingly, Matt Cook will take the bottom. So a lot of drivers saying that bottom side is the place to be, but the outside can hang if they're able to just get the outside working a little bit. And with how cool the track is, if you have a number of drivers just running that inside lane, it may heat it up enough to allow that outside to just have a little bit more grip.
Yeah, and I think it'll be good for a short run. This is, as a driver, this is not one of my most favorite racetracks. I seem to struggle out here, so I'm not one to give any advice to anybody, Kelly, but it'll last a little bit on that outside, but I think you want to get down as fast as you can. How about that? Bryan Hacker able to move to the outside of row number 2 with this restart. And that is big right now. 7 points separating the 2 and the 38 in the championship standings. As the field comes back into the ZooFab Garage restart zone. Green flag is up, and Cook going to step on that loud pedal first.
Yeah, it looks like just behind him, Adam Gable had a good start as well. However, he just cannot quite get to the inside of Martin. Now Martin going to go way up the racetrack, and that's going to allow Gable to come roaring through on the bottom side. He's going to have a nose ahead going into turn 3, and out of 4, he's going to be way ahead of him, completely clear. He's going to be able to move up into that preferred lane, and everyone is keeping it clean. This time we are going to get our first green flag lap of the night, as Matt Cook is now having to defend a little bit from Adam Gable.
Yeah, Cook able to hold on to him, as now Bryan Hacker able to get there. Philip Martin stuck on that outside lane, and inside they've got him. There's now the number 12 of Rodney Huntoon, and that witch-looking number 12 underneath them. Dustin Shepard going to try to fill the hole. When you get those drivers stuck up on the outside, you smell the blood in the water. You want to keep them there. Is now Nelm slips up a little bit, opens the inside lane for Bryan Hacker. Hacker going to move into spot number 3.
Now Huntoon gets it a little too hot. Looks like he was trying to get himself underneath of Nelms before he closed the door, but caused him to wiggle off of turn 4, slide up the racetrack, and that opened up the bottom side and will allow Philip Martin and Justin Shepard. Now Martin's going to make a mistake coming off of 4, and they're going to be 3 wide coming down the front straightaway, but the 12 of Huntoon going to throw on the brakes and slip in right behind Scott Austin there. A good smart move to avoid that 3 wide coming into turn number 1 and get himself into that preferred bottom lane. As now looks like up and towards the front of the field, Bryan Hacker makes a mistake off of turn 4. Turn 4 is catching everyone off guard tonight.
Yeah, Ford are able to step these street stocks out sideways just a little bit. Is your top 3 make it top 5 single file. Scott Austin up 4 spots already. Josh Nelms up 5, a little bit deeper in the back. How about the 69 of Randy Nichols? Nichols working the bottom side. He's got Mike Alexander in that 75 car. I agree with Mike, though, Kelly. I think it would have looked way better with orange rims. I can't believe he forgot to pack them.
Yeah, and I can't believe he made those mistakes in qualifying, forced him to start in the back of the field, and I think he may have done that just to try to get the biggest mover award, because he is already up 12 positions as he gets around Philip Martin, who has been dropping back like a rock, as now Philip Martin has found himself down 8 spots and is back all the way in 11th. He's now slotting in behind Ryan Johnson, who has been slowly creeping towards the front of the field as cars get a little bit packed up coming off of turn 4 there, and that nearly caused Alexander to get into the back of Nichols.
Yeah, Ryan on board with Ryan Johnson. You see the 75 looking to the inside of Nichols. He's going to able to draw even, but the momentum on the outside keeps the 69 right there on the outside, holding on to that spot for the time being. Mike Alexander looking to take and move into spot number 8. He will take it. Is now the 46 of Philip Martin playing a little bit of bumper tag with a 38 of Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, it looks like Martin was trying to get underneath Johnson, but just couldn't quite get there. He's going to have to drop back and look for another opportunity. Johnson trying to continue climbing towards the front of this field. He really wants to catch up to Bryan Hacker, who has now found himself around Adam Gable. So now Bryan Hacker in second place, and it is not what Johnson is wanting to see. Only a 7-point gap, as we keep mentioning, in the championship standings at this moment. And Bryan Hacker having himself a good night here at the start of this race, as we are 22 laps in.
Yeah, Bryan Hacker on board with him now as he's caught the backside of the 15 of Matt Cook, and a good run down the front stretch. Down here into turn number 1, Bryan Hacker trying to become our first lead change, and he's going to do so by taking that spot away. Matt Cook now under fire from the 91 of Adam Gable and the 89 of Dustin Shepard. Shepard applying the pressure. We know we talked to Dustin each and every week. Remember, he got slid back into spot 7 here tonight. Finds himself looking for that third spot in the turn number 3. He's going to take it away as now Scott Austin tried to get there, but unable to fill that hole as Gable slots in the spot 4.
Yeah, that was a fantastic move by Bryan Hacker. I mean, he was just able to set it up perfectly, kind of arc the corner a little bit so he could get a run off the bottom of turn 4, get his nose just to the inside of the 15 of Cook, and that caused Cook to take the high lane, and he overcooked it a little bit going into 1, which caused him to slide way up the track and just easily allowed Hacker to get through. And now Hacker is really starting to open up that gap. He is already 0.7 of a second ahead of that 15 car.
Yeah, he's running a good line right now up off the corner. Last time by, Bryan Hacker was the second fastest car as Dustin Shepard ran the fastest lap 1 lap ago. Already 1/5 of the way done with tonight's Sinister City 125. And these guys all really close on lap times as they work up off for turn number 4. Shepard closing in. Adam Gable is going to start feeling the pressure from Scott Austin. Austin came in here 3rd in the standings tonight and having a good solid season at the start of this, as Shepard takes a look to the inside underneath Cook.
Yeah, and Cook is going to be forced to go into the high side. Oh, he's going to be saved by a timely caution here, as there's 3 cars spun around off of turn 2. Matthew Allen and Mark Keeler involved, and I believe Chad McLeod may have been the 3rd driver that was involved in that one.
Yellow coming out once again for the 2nd time here this evening. Let's take a look back here and see what happened with Matt Allen in that 74. Racing with the 72 is Shane Loveridge. Just remember, Shane, our Australian competitor, just got in the corner a little bit and got him in the left rear, and around he went. The 44 of Ray Riker also involved, and Mark Keeler, I think, spun trying to avoid. Let's take a look here and go on board with Mark Keeler. You see the accident happening right there in front of him, and really just kind of hung the hooks there, and I believe maybe got tapped by, I think, maybe Chad McLeod as they were all slowed up there, but everyone able to drive away, Kelly, as we are underneath the yellow flag for our 2nd time this evening.
Yeah, I don't think Mark Keeler was really able to see the crash happening. I was looking at his onboard, and it seemed like that whole crash was happening just in front of his A-pillar, so it was completely hidden from him until he was pretty much around the corner, and then he just had to slam on the brakes, which caused him, the back end, to slide out on him and kind of left him with nowhere to go, and gets a little bit of a tap and sent around. But I don't know if there's going to be any extra damage to that car. We're seeing a few drivers having to come down pit road. We've had 1 car that has called it a night tonight. That is the 33 of Braden Campbell. He took a lot of damage early on in this race. He has taken it behind the wall. Other than that, we have a few cars a lap down. Mark Keeler, Chad McLeod, and Matthew Allen are all 1 lap down. Other than that, we still have 17 cars on the lead lap. So still a fairly healthy field for the rest of this race.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson, I don't know if you caught it or not, Kelly. He came down pit road there, as I think we are getting ready for the choose this time by, presented by Austin Designs. In your top 3, all go single file. Adam Gable going to swing to the outside. But Ryan Johnson, as I was saying before, they started to move in here to the Austin Designs choose. He's the first driver with fresher tires on that car. I believe just took right sides.
Yeah, because of how everyone chose, Ryan Johnson's found himself in 6th place after coming down to the pits, and there was actually a number of cars that came down pit road. Ryan Johnson, Travis Heffler, Mike Alexander, Rodney Huntoon, Randy Nichols, Ray Riker, Mark Keeler, John Cross, Shane Leverage all came down. I think Will Eastman came down 1 lap later, so number of cars that have taken a couple of tires here, so we'll have to see if that's going to help them at all here against these other drivers that have not pit at all, but we've only had a handful of laps. Pace car now down in the way. We'll see what they can do.
Into the restart zone, Bryan Hacker, Adam Gable. Green flag is up in the ZooFab Garage. Sinister City 125 back underway. Matt Cook looking to the inside. Going to see how these fresh tires fare up on the outside of the racetrack. Kelly is now Scott Austin trying to make the outside work around the 15 of Matt Cook, trying to pin him down there. Right now, Austin holding on to that number 3 spot. Side by side, the 3rd spot battle with the 89 of Shepard right there. Josh Nelms in that 00. He's in the running for best appearing car here tonight as well. Up or over at the North-South Racing League's Facebook page. Make sure you go there and vote for your favorite car as they battle it out here into the corner. One car going around. Randy Nichols is sideways on the infield. And looks like he is going to drive away. We stay green so far, but Shepard now on the attack. He's going to take spot 3.
Yeah, Matt Cook was able to get around Scott Austin there, but as soon as he moved up into the high lane to try to carry the momentum off the corner, it opened up an opportunity for Dustin Shepard to get to the inside, and then that just allowed Scott Austin to get through. Now Josh Nelm's going to get through as well. One driver that has really got a lot of spots here off of that lane choice there was Adam Gable. He was in 4th place. The top 3 all chose the bottom side. He took the risk, took the high side, had a good restart, really challenged Matt Cook into turn 1, and then was able to find a gap to just slot himself down between Cook and Hacker. So now he is running 2nd place because of that.
Yeah, and Adam has had some pace this season, just lady luck not so much on his side. And as you know, as we are out here in Las Vegas, you need the luck to hit at the table. Could he cash in on a jackpot here at the Sinister City 125? We'll find out as we close in on that halfway point. But Dustin Shepard, he's looking pretty sporty here early on. Kelly is now the 75 of Mike Alexander. He looks underneath Josh Nelms. Nelms going to battle on the outside with that Nightmare Before Christmas 00 car, and he's going to be able to slot in there as the 46 got loose up off of turn number 2.
Yeah, that 75 car now up 16 spots since the start of this race, and he is currently our highest running car that has come down pit road. Came down on lap 31 during that last caution. He, I believe, took right side tires. That's pretty much your only choice if you want to stay on the lead lap, as it is a very short lap, even under caution. Now he's getting a good run off of Ford. Not quite going to have enough speed to get under Scott Austin, but he is challenging. Just in front of them, there has been a change in positions in the top 3. Dustin Shepard has got himself around Adam Gable. Gable now under fire from the 5, and the 5 getting loose coming into turn 3 as he had to get on the brakes to avoid getting into the back end of that 91, and now that's going to allow Mike Alexander to get through underneath Scott Austin. Now Nelm's going to try to follow him as well in that 00, and that is going to force that 5 of Austin to stay on the high side. He's coming right down to the door, though, trying to shorten up that corner as much as possible.
He's trying to break that momentum of that inside lane there. A little bit of contact now up off for turn number 2. Swapping some paint in the turn 3, and they're stacked up behind them. Ryan Johnson trying to figure out which lane to go with is now Austin maybe up into those marbles. Got a little bit loose up off for turn number 4. Finds himself, is he going to be able to slot in? Looks like he's going to be able to get down behind Ryan Johnson. Is Johnson now on the attack up underneath the 00 of Nelms?
Yeah, Mike Alexander just got ahead of Adam Gable right in front of them, but Ryan Johnson, a good run here on that bottom side, and that's going to force Nelms to run way up, and he gets almost into the wall coming off of turn 2, and now that gives an opportunity for Scott Austin to get a spot back. It is just these guys swapping positions as someone gets a run, gets underneath the driver, forces them to drop back a few spots, and then another driver gets a run, forces them to drop back a few spots, and the guy that originally lost the place is able to follow through, but Now Nelton's actually, there's a caution coming out here, so that is going to save Josh Nelms. He was still stuck on that high side. I don't know who is involved in that. May have been Jonathan Cross, as I see him coming off of the apron. Yes, I think it was the 10 of Jonathan Cross spinning off of turn 2.
Yeah, Cross was racing back there when he went around with Shane Loveridge, and I'm not sure if there was contact or not. The truck says they have it, so we are going to take a look here and see what happened to John Cross in car number 10. Got down to the turn number 1, and Shane to the bottom, and just barely got into the back of him, and Loveridge is going to send the 10 of Cross into a slide for life, as that will draw our 3rd yellow flag of the evening. As we come back to some live pictures and some takers on pit road, Kelly. Bryan Hacker, Mike Alexander, not one of them, though.
Yeah, and a couple drivers coming down for a second time. That looks like Ryan Johnson is one of the guys coming down pit road, so I don't know what the strategy is here tonight. I don't know if he's trying to get to the end on fuel, or no, he's taking right side tires once again. So a few drivers just wanting as fresh of right sides as they can possibly have. But it seems like Bryan Hacker, along with a few other drivers, are confident with what they've got. So Hacker, Alexander, Huntoon all stayed out. Alexander, though, did come down the last time. So actually, the only driver now that I'm looking at the timing and scoring, the only driver to have not pit at all here tonight is Bryan Hacker.
And I think as the race leader, I don't think you give up that point, that track position, especially with how short this is. Not sure if fuel will really come into play. We did not get fuel calculation numbers from the garage area. They were pretty tight-lipped about that this evening. And Kelly forgot to bring the TV car. Good job, Kelly.
I don't know why you expected me to bring that. It would be a lot harder for me getting it through customs.
That is true.
We have got to the choose cone here, and once again, the top 3 all go into the bottom side. Ray Riker, though, he's going to take the top side along with Adam Gable. So it's going to be Hacker on the bottom, then Riker, Alexander, Gable, Huntoon, and then Scott Austin, who's going to come way up through the field. As pretty much everyone is just wanting that bottom side. So this is really a track where that choose cone is kind of coming into play. You have that risk versus reward. You could be stuck on that high side, or you can find that gap, jump a lot of positions, and be able to slot yourself back into the preferred lane.
Yeah, and we were talking about before we came on air tonight, Kelly, about just how that choose cone has really changed the complexion of some races, right? You got some guys that take that chance on it outside, and the next thing you know, they're in victory lane or whatnot. So they're gonna roll back here into the restart zone. Green flag is up, and Bryan Hacker with a nice jump over the 44 of Ray Riker. Riker, a driver out of the state of New York, working the outside of the racetrack, and Mike Alexander making quick work, and they are still 2x2. Here comes Rodney Huntoon. He's going to slide up, make a little bit of contact with Riker, and they got them all jammed up behind him.
Yeah, there was a big check up on the high side. Now the 5 of Scott Austin went to the bottom, and there was a big check on the bottom lane. Thankfully, everyone is able to slow their cars up and keep in control. We've seen a few times, though, the guys having to get on the brakes, and has caused these cars to upset the balance. And a Riker having a slow run off of 4. It looks like Gable is starting to get impatient. He wants to find a way around, but he's not found that. Oh, gets a bit of a tap there from the 45. He's going to go around, and he's going to take a car with him. Looks like Dan Janjanin hard into the wall. Caution is going to fly once again.
And Dan Janjanin going to get able to point back in the right directions here. Hopefully he didn't crack the peanut shell there. And we saw, you called that one, Kelly. They were all stacked up there behind the car. 44 of Riker was a little bit off pace just due to by not having fresh tires. The 91 got touched by the 46 of Philip Martin and peels the front bumper cap off of Gable's car. And really, Jan Janin was in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and was really an innocent bystander there.
Yeah, Jan Janin was just trying to get through on the bottom, and unfortunately got hooked by that and sent hard into the wall. So a few cars coming down pit road. That'll be Rodney Huntoon leading them down. Riker, unsurprisingly, as well as Gable coming down to fix some damage. Other than that, we've got Jonathan Cross, Matthew Allen, Mark Keeler, and Dan Jan Janin all coming down pit road. Jan Janin, despite that hard hit into the wall, actually does not look that bad. Looks like a little bit of right side damage to the car, but other than that, I think he's doing all right. So we'll see what that car is going to handle like when he comes out and we go back green flag racing. But hopefully they can take the hammer to it for at least a couple seconds here before Bryan Hacker comes back around to lap them.
Yeah, and that's one of the tough parts here at the Bullring as we see Jan Janin leaving the pit side. Left side of the car looks practically brand new. The right side, well, you can tell it's been a short track racing car here this evening after this last yellow flag. Our fourth one of the evening, just at the halfway point, and Bryan Hacker is our second leader of the afternoon after the 15 of Matt Cook. Sat on the point after the RC2 promotion rate redraw as we go back into our choosing. Top 4 cars choosing the inside. And I believe Scott Austin will be the first one jumping to that outside, Kelly.
Yeah, Austin and Nelms both taking the high lane, so they want to try to see if they can move up a few spots off of that. And another thing is this also puts the fate of the drivers kind of into their own hands. A lot of times without the choose cone, a driver gets stuck on the high side. They don't really want that lane. It is not the preferred line, and they can kind of get freight trained, and it can ruin their night and the momentum they may have had built leading up to a restart. So it kind of gives them their own choice. If they want to go for that high side, they can take that risk. And kind of, if it doesn't work out for them, they only have themselves to blame.
Yeah, as they roll here through turns 1 and 2, and you can start seeing that rubber really getting built up around the racetrack, and you don't want to get those hot tires in there. And Bryan Hacker, the only car not pitting so far this afternoon, he's going to jump on that loud pedal once again, and we are back underway here in the ZooFab Garage Sinister City 125. Bryan Hacker jumps out to the race lead. Mike Alexander and Scott Austin battling it out for spot number 2.
Yeah, Scott Austin did not quite have the restart he wanted to get. He's now looking to see if he can get himself down to the bottom side. He's going to force his way down there and force Dustin Shepard to kind of back out and give him the spot. Just in front of him, though, Mike Alexander getting a little bit too hot coming out of turn 2. Nearly gets himself into the wall, but he is able to regain control. All these drivers jockeying for position. Now it looks like the 89 of Shepard getting a good run into turn 1, but Scott Austin's going to send it to try to hang on to the position. That is not going to work. He gets loose off of 4. That's going to cost him at least 2 spots now as Ryan Johnson gets to his inside. Just behind them, Nelms taking a bit of a tap into the door. That's going to send him up the racetrack and allow Matt Cook through. Looks like Will Eastman is finally getting himself through. You see that car all banged up as he was caught in an incident in the very first lap of this race. He is still out there battling, though, even with a damaged race car. But now they're going to go almost 3 wide coming off of 4. There is a wreck just behind them. Looks like Adam Gable involved. He is spun sideways off of turn 4.
Yeah, Gable going into the spin cycles. The crew has done a good job putting that car back together. So a tough break for the 91 involved in his second yellow flag of the afternoon. And it all stems down here in turns 3 and 4. Racing with the number 2 of Jan Janin and the 12 of Rodney Huntoon. Oh, he saw the 2 get a little bit loose in front of him, went up the racetrack and made contact with the number 12 of Rodney Huntoon. And that will slow us here this evening once again for the 5th time. And these yellow flags, you got to think, are helping Bryan Hacker, who is yet to come down pit road to make it there on fuel. I don't know if fuel was really an issue tonight, Kelly. Just thinking about the distance of this race and how short of a distance the race is.
And I mean, the first estimate that I'm seeing from iRacing is possibly 170 laps. I don't know if that is going to be entirely true if they get some good green flag runs, but with the amount of cautions we've been having, I mean, it is possible that Hacker could stretch it out. I mean, we saw just the past week, Ryan Johnson really having to stretch his fuel and barely making it to the line with just under a gallon left in the car. So we'll see if that's going to be a fuel mileage race here once again. But now a big story shaping up here after the lane choice there. Ryan Johnson, the championship leader, is now side by side with his contender, Bryan Hacker. We keep mentioning only 7 points separate these two, and now only a couple inches separate them on track.
Yeah, it is a long season, as this is after round number 8, this is round 8 or round 9. I can't keep it straight. But right now, Bryan Hacker, Ryan Johnson, your top two in the points, your top two in this race. Will Eastman, another good story back there in that Skull Bandit number 33. Green flag is up or underway. Johnson with a little bit slow of a restart. Here comes Mike Alexander to the inside. Can he hold off the fresher tires of the 38 of Ryan Johnson? Dustin Shepard, Will Eastman, and Scott Austin, your top 6.
Yeah, there's not too much of a difference between these tires, and it does not seem to be working for Ryan Johnson as he is dropping back through the field. That outside lane just not working as he actually gets a little bit loose coming off of turn 2, and that's going to give an opportunity to Scott Austin, who is going to get himself down there into the inside of the 38 car. And now there may be a gap starting to form up. Actually, no, that's going to be closed up now, and Matt Cook trying to get himself to the bumper of Austin and prevent Johnson from getting to the bottom. Now Johnson's going to force his way down there. He is going to get to the bottom side, and that's going to cause that 15 car to get on the binders, cause a bit of a stack up behind him, but Heffler and Nelms able to slow their cars up and avoid any catastrophe.
Yeah, and you got to, as this race goes on, we're closing in on just over 45 laps left to go. And tonight, Sinister City 125. Those given breaks and cutting breaks are slowly going to stop, Kelly. Somebody's going to have some doors slammed on their foreheads a little bit later on as this race gets closer to the end of it. And a tough break for Braden Campbell, Chad McLeod, and Randy Nichols, all out of the race. Just doing a little housekeeping. Set about the 18 cars on the racetrack, Kelly. They're all on the lead lap. They all got a shot at the win.
And the battle for the race lead is heating up as Mike Alexander has gotten himself right to the back of Bryan Hacker, and he's taken a couple of peeks to the inside on these straightaways. It seems like the slightly fresher tires of Mike Alexander may be working out for him as he's getting some good runs off the corner. Just can't quite get enough, though, to get his nose to the inside quarter panel of Bryan Hacker, who is running a very clean and tidy race so far. But we'll have to see as this race ticks on if Bryan Hacker can keep taking care of those tires. I mean, one of the big things is the track is very cool here tonight, just under 79 degrees on the track surface, so that will make those tires last a little bit longer. We're going to take a look now. Bryan Hacker under fire. Can the 75 get there? Not quite off of turn 4.
Yeah, Hacker with a good run that time off of turn number 4. He's up the racetrack once again, leaving that inside open. Alexander with the nose down low. He's going to go to the inside and make contact through turns 3 and 4. Mike Alexander to the inside. Dustin Shepard in line as well as Bryan Hacker gets relegated back to the second. Make it third now down the back stretch. Mike Alexander from P number 20 to the race lead. He's your third different leader here. Shepard now in the spot number 2.
And Bryan Hacker was smart, backed out there as he realized the 68 was going to get him, and then he tried to get back on doing basically the same move that he had done to get the race lead. Now just behind them, Ryan Johnson really attacking Scott Austin, just could not quite get the pass done there, but he is going to keep on that rear bumper. Oh, Bryan Hacker nearly getting into the wall as he got loose off of turn 2. Looks like there may be some trouble with the tires underneath the 2 car.
You gotta wonder if the staying out was the right call or not, as only Bryan will let us know that with how he finishes. Now Ryan Johnson to the inside, contact with the 5 of Scott Austin. Somehow they both keep it in the right direction. Matt Cook was right there in a front row seat if that was going to go wrong. How about Travis Hoffler in that 20 car? He's hanging out inside of the top 10 here tonight, along with Josh Nelms and Philip Martin back into 9th. Kelly, we saw his trouble early on in this one. He's sitting in P number 9.
Yeah, things are starting to heat up on the track as the laps are ticking away. You're seeing drivers not giving each other quite as much room anymore, and seeing a few guys throwing some heavy blocks as we are really getting into the real Bullring racing. But battle for the race lead once again is heating up as Dustin Shepard is putting on some pressure to Mike Alexander. He's just trying to set himself up with a good run out of the corner. Last time around, he was right up on the bumper going into turn 1, and he's now dropped back a little bit as he seems to be just trying out a few different things to maybe set up a run. So I'd expect to see that 68 car, or sorry, the 89 car. Oh, caution is out once again, so that is going to cut that short, as I do not see who was involved in that one.
I believe it was the 74 of Matt Allen who has taken the quick tow back to pit road. So we'll see what happened to Allen. He was racing back here with the 91 of Adam Gable. Just got in the turns 3 and 4 and lost it. Gable nowhere to go. And is going to bring out our yellow flag here as Mike Alexander holds on to that race lead. Bryan Hacker second. Is Dustin Shepard coming down pit road, Kelly?
Yeah, Dustin Shepard has come down pit road. He will take some fresh tires. One thing though, Bryan Hacker still not pitting. Still the only car to stay out.
Not anymore.
Other than that, oh no, now Bryan Hacker will be coming down pit road. Now the big thing is Mike Alexander. Pretty much everyone else has come down pit road in the last 40 laps or so. Mike Alexander, he came down to that first run of cars under caution on lap 31. Everyone else, the furthest back would be Scott Austin and Ryan Johnson and a few other drivers pitting on lap 53.
Yeah, so a lot of strategy being played right now. But we've seen, Kelly, with this choose rule and how popular the bottom side is, you're able... I don't think pitting right now takes you out of contention to win. I don't think so. I mean, Bryan Hacker going to come back out of pit road in spot 9, it looks like, before we go into the Austin Designs redraw, which I believe will happen next time by, if I got my laps right.
Man, we've seen a lot of drivers take the inside and then drivers risking it on the outside. And if there's enough drivers that take the inside, Bryan Hacker with those fresh tires on the outside may be able to get a good run around them. But I mean, the drivers that pit on lap 53, I don't think their tires are too beat up. We had a good green flag run there, but there's been a lot of other quick little green sections. As yet, top 4 are going to take the bottom. Nelm's going to go up high, and then Huntoon, Cross, Riker all going to go on the inside, and then Bryan Hacker. So Hacker is going to be in the second row on the outside, so this may work out for him.
And I do have to believe that Shepard, he came down pit road, had to have gotten an end-of-line penalty either for a closed pit entrance or maybe speeding on pit road, Kelly, because he's going to start tail of this field.
Yeah, that's going to be rough for him, starting way in the back here in these late stages of this race. But the big question is going to be if Bryan Hacker not only can get a good start here, but if he can get around Nelms, because while Hacker is on fresh tires, Nelms is not. Nelms last pit on lap 53, so there may be a slight bit of a pace difference. Drivers saying the tires don't fall off too much tonight, but we're going to have to see. We're getting ready to go green flag racing once again. Mike Alexander leading the field to the restart zone. And he is going to get a good launch off here, and he's going to catch Nelms sleeping. Nelms now getting pushed along by Hacker as they go down into turn number 1.
Yeah, Nelms going to get pushed up the racetrack. He made contact. They're going to be 3 wide, make it look at almost 4 wide down the backstretch. They settle it in the 2x2, but Nelms working up the racetrack. Bryan Hacker forces himself down in front of Matt Cook. Someone checked the forehead as Matt Cook's got the door slammed on him. Bryan Hacker into spot number 4 now, right behind your current high points man Ryan Johnson, and he knows the number 2 with fresher tires. we expect maybe the two to be able to carve up, get around the 38 of Johnson, as Johnson was last on pit road, lap 53. Behind this battle, here comes Bryan Hacker to the inside.
Oh, Nelms Gomez around off of turn 4. That is going to bring out another caution right as Hacker was making the pass. I don't know if Hacker got around him. That could be huge. We'll have to see, but I think I would expect on the next choose cone that Hacker will take the outside no matter what, because he does have a lot of grip, it seemed like. But Josh Nelms spinning by himself off of turn 4. Doesn't look like anyone else was involved, though.
No, we'll take a look back here and see what happened to Nelms. He was racing with Matt Cook. Remember, we talked about Nelms being on some older tires. Just got into the turns 3 and 4, Kelly, a little too hot, and the seas parted and no contact. So very lucky in that regard, and a very fast part of the racetrack.
Yeah, and this restart is going to shake things up quite a bit. I mean, we saw Bryan Hacker with those fresh tires had a lot of speed compared to the field. He was able to just easily get around Ryan Johnson, who came down the pits last on lap 53. And then in front of him, he'll have Scott Austin, who also pit on lap 53. And then Mike Alexander, who has been out there on those same tires since lap 31. So Bryan Hacker, I think, getting in a good position here in the tail end of this race. We're going to be under 20 laps to go as they cross the line here to get onto lap 106.
Yeah, 20 laps to go. A Saturday night shootout here on a Monday evening for the North-South Racing League ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series. We thank you for tuning on in here to the Turn 3 Racing Network for the Sinister City 125. We hope you have a great Halloween this coming Thursday. We thank you for being a part of our night as we get ready to go next time by for our choose cone. As that should be next time by, and it'd be interesting to see what Hacker does. And even Ryan Johnson, right? You're battling for a championship. Every point matters. Going to be around 16 to 17 laps to go when that green flag comes back out.
Yeah, my prediction as we're coming here to the choose cone is going to be Alexander on the inside, Austin on the inside, and then Hacker on the outside. And that is exactly what's going to happen. As then Johnson's going to take the inside, Matt Cook on the inside, Martin to the outside, Heffler inside. And now the car is starting to choose. Still a lot of cars taking that inside lane. Not a lot of people wanting to risk the outside. A few drivers towards the tail end of the field are going to take the outside lane and jump up a number of rows. But a lot of drivers just finding that safety on the bottom side. And now we have going to have a good battle for the race lead as Mike Alexander going to be next to Bryan Hacker on this next restart.
Yeah, 2x2 up at the front. And these top 3 drivers have a lot of laps racing each other, not only with the North-South Racing League, but in elsewhere in iRacing competition. And they know each other's tendencies, which always puts on a good show, Kelly. If you always know what the other driver is, you know how to push their buttons, and you know how to maybe play that little bit of a mind game as well. As they head down here into turns 3 and 4. Green flag in Barney's right hand. Green is up. We're underway. And Alexander with a good jump. So is Bryan Hacker. He's going to get down in speed number 2.
Yeah, Hacker immediately getting to the bottom side, and that is exactly what he needed here. Nothing holding him back now for challenging for the race lead. Just behind them, though, there is a huge battle as Austin tries to hold. Oh, caution is going to come out immediately. Try to see what happened there. Maybe Dustin Shepard involved, I believe he got a little bit sideways in turn 3.
Yeah, I believe he had a helping hand down there in turns 3 and 4. And let's take a look here from our drone camera on Dustin Shepard. He was working to the inside of Jan Janin. Gets down into the corner. Oh, and Dan tries to get down to the inside and just gets him in the right rear quarter panel. Slid to the inside, not too much damage, but a lot of track position gone for the number 89 of Dustin Shepard. And There's been a couple incidents there for the 89. You got to start wondering about that incident point limit. We haven't talked about it much this season. It's been a really clean racing. But in the North-South Racing Leagues, they have a 14 incident point cap. And at that point of reaching that 14 incident points, you do get DQ'd from the race. So you got to keep it clean, Kelly. But at the same time, we're short track racing, and accidental contact is going to happen.
Yeah, especially here at the Bullring, as you've seen there, is everyone's fighting for that bottom lane, and even drivers on the outside are just trying to squeeze down and try to shorten that corner as much as possible, because corners are very tight and, as I mentioned earlier, not very well banked. So that outside lane just has to take that tight entry and try to really squeeze that bottom side, which is kind of creating a few moments of contact. And also when drivers cut down in front of each other, it creates quite a bit of a stack up, and they can catch these guys off guard with the accordion effect.
It is another sell-out crowd here tonight for the North-South Racing League. You see the fans, they're shoehorned in here, and you know why. Next week, though, Kelly, to kick off the month of November, another Bullring, the South Boston Speedway, one of my favorite racetracks. And I believe this time by we'll get the Austin Designs Choose Cone, and top three to the inside, Philip Martin to the outside.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that. I would have expected Bryan Hacker to start on the outside once again, but I guess he believes that he can stay to the inside and get around Philip Martin and not allow him to get in. Oh, actually, the pace car comes down a little early, so these guys are going to have to form up very quick. We're going to get right back to green flag racing. Mike Alexander leading the field to the green, and that green flag up in the air. Mike Alexander getting a good start. Can Bryan Hacker keep hold off Philip Martin? He is just barely going to get his nose there, force Philip Martin up the racetrack. A little bit of a wiggle from that 46 car. This is going to allow the two of Hacker to get himself up to the door there. Now Bryan Hacker is free and clear. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle from both of them coming off of turn 4. Scott Austin now getting the inside of the 46. And oh, down around he goes, gets into Scott Austin. Somehow they're going to bounce off each other and hang on to the race cars. Now 3 wide as looks like Matt Cook gets into Philip Martin. Martin going all the way up the track. He's losing ton of ground off of that.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. Everybody keeping it pointed in the right direction somehow. Now Will Eastman, he's underneath the Phil Martin's entry down in the turn.
Sorry, Al, I'm going to have to cut you off. We got a battle for the race lead. Bryan Hacker's got himself to the inside of Mike Alexander, and he is going to get through and retake the race lead. Alexander, though, not going to take this laying down as he's going to fight back, get himself back to the inside going into turn 3.
Yeah, Hacker rolling the outside of the racetrack. A little bit of contact up for turn number 4. Side by side, 6 laps to go. Alexander with the race lead. Can Bryan Hacker get back to the gas pedal? He's going to keep it to the outside, and they are doing so because there's a little bit of gap back to Scott Austin. Hacker with a crossover move off turn number 4. He's back to the inside. Alexander to the outside in the turn number 1. This is great stuff, but that allowed the number 5 of Scott Austin to close back in. But now Bryan Hacker, sole possession of your race lead, coming to 4 laps to go.
Yeah, Bryan Hacker pretty much mimicking the first way he got the race lead. And actually a little bit of a mistake off of 4 for Hacker allowed Alexander get right back up to him. I thought Alexander was going to go for the inside, but thought better of it, backed off for now. Lap 122 nearly in the books here. Just a few laps to go, only seconds away from the checkered flag here as these guys are still battling it out on the racetrack. Bryan Hacker leads Alexander, who leads Scott Austin over Ryan Johnson. That is your top 4 here with just a few laps to go.
A few laps to go as they cross underneath the stripe. Popsicle sticks are in the air, double horns. Next time by, Barney will wave the white flag just over under a mile left of racing to go. White flag is up for Bryan Hacker here in the Sinister City 125. Set the fast time here tonight with a new track record. Going to come off turn number 4, and Bryan Hacker is going to be victorious here tonight at the Bullring.
And a big battle there for 3rd place as Scott Austin and Ryan Johnson battling it out to the line. I mean, Scott Austin is third in the standing, so he's trying to catch up to Johnson as well, but he is also a teammate of Bryan Hacker, so he wanted to keep Johnson behind him to allow Hacker to maybe take over the points championship here.
The field rolling down pit road, and just like that, we are done here at the Bullring. Up next will be our ZooFab Garage post-race show, but first we'll pay a bill. We'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you for tuning on in to the North-South Racing League's ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series. And welcome back here to the ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series post-race show, where we will catch up with our top three as we get them down here. Everybody getting a drink of water after a hard-fought race that was. And we are down here in Victory Lane. Kelly, you've swung around the side for the number 2. He is getting unbuckled. He set fast timed here tonight, sets the track record, and now finds himself in Victory Lane. I believe you are with Bryan Hacker.
Well, Brian, definitely a hard-fought win here tonight. How are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, that was something. Once that first big pit cycle where everybody pit but Mike and myself and Rodney and I think maybe one or two more, I was like, well, we made a bad call. We're gonna be scrambling the rest of the night, and honestly, pretty surprised how it worked out. I was not expecting to get back up to the front.
Well, it seemed like the choose cone definitely made a big difference here tonight. What are you thinking about that rule now?
Yeah, I've always loved the choose cone. It's kind of what I grew up at the local short track. They've done that for many, many years. So seeing the strategy and how that can play out, and man, right when we got fresh tires and came back out, it seemed like 7 straight cars took the bottom, and I was like, well, we're gonna give it a shot up top, and it stuck, and it got a little hairy, and we went, I think, 3 wide for part of a corner, but came out of it in third, and I knew from there we were in pretty good shape with the freshest tires on the track and the track position. So really happy with how it turned out. I really wasn't expecting it.
Well, we're still gonna have to factor in drop weeks and all that, but I believe you may possibly take over the points lead. But that means with the win here tonight, you are going to be starting in the back of the field at South Boston. So what do you think about your chances next week?
It's a tough track to start from the back. It straightaways seem to funnel down, so if there's any wrecks, it's pretty hard to avoid them. So hopefully we can get through the chaos and get up into the top 10 or 15 and just pick our way off until we get up close to the front. Of course, we'd love to go back to back, but when you win one of these races, it really sets you behind starting in last. So we'll take a top 5 next week. We'd be thrilled with that. Honestly, just be happy to get out of it without any major incidents.
Well, Brian, we're going to give you the floor here tonight, and who would you like to thank for your win tonight?
Yeah, good run to Mike Alexander. That was a lot of fun up front. I know I had fresher tires and he had more used tires, but man, it was like kind of a dirt race there, exchanging crossover moves. That was pretty fun. He's always a really hard competitor, really fast, good looking car this week too. So shout out to him first and foremost. Everybody on the car, Austin Designs and Scott Austin finishing on the podium. It's good when both of us can get up here. So pretty cool. Aberdeen Lodge, Carbon Junction Boulder Beer Bar, you guys for coming on and doing it this season. I like going back and watching these, and all the admins at NSRL for putting this thing on and, you know, dealing with our BS week in and week out.
Well, Bryan, thank you so much for coming out and talking to us. Congratulations once again for your win tonight, your second win of the season, and hopefully we'll hear from you again at South Boston next week.
Let's hope. Thanks, Kelly.
As Bryan Hacker, driver of the number 2, our winner here tonight in the Sinister City 125. But now we're going to be moving along to our next driver. I believe Al is caught up with our second place finisher.
Yeah, we're down here with the 75 of Mike Alexander, who had a spirited battle there with Bryan Hacker. And, you know, if maybe you would have just brought the orange rims, you would have finished first.
You know what? I'm thinking I just might run this car all the time because this seems to be bringing me the best luck. You know, this thing was bad fast tonight.
Yeah, very fast. Unofficially, by my standards and ability to account, or maybe inability to account, you're up 19 spots here tonight. You're going to come home with a P2, Mike. I know you got to the racetrack a little bit late, but, man, what did you like about out of this car in race here tonight? You carved up through that field like you were like Jason on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I don't know if I found like the secret key or not. Like I just didn't practice, I guess, and maybe that's what did it. But I think honestly, what it is this track is probably the closest to our home track, and that probably has a little bit of an effect and helps me out. And it just seems to fit my driving style. So I've always liked it here, and it just, like I said, this thing was on rails tonight.
You got the Wonderbird up here, led some laps, and you're going to come home with that P2. And the thing doesn't have a mark on it. Maybe you just got to wash it next week and bring it to South Boston. But at least you won't have to be starting at the tail in 1 week's time. But talk about being able to race like that, crossovers, rubbing fenders with the likes of Bryan Hacker here tonight at the end of the Sinister City 125.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that that's probably the most fun I've had on iRacing in a long time. You know, it's it really says a lot about a guy when you can race him like that, and you know, neither of you even touch, and you know that was just a ton of fun, and you know it really shows what kind of race car driver he is.
It makes a lot of fun when you can trust those drivers, and we touched upon it during the broadcast that, you know, you have a lot of laps together, not only here in the North-South Racing League, but in other forms of racing on the iRacing platform, and being able to know each other and know that you can trust the guy that's going to run you clean. You'll be able to lean on each other and know you're not going to end up in the wall there. But do you think at the end it was just a difference of fresher tires that you were battling against?
Yeah, I mean, I knew once he came back out on the racetrack, and you know I think he came back out fourth with new rubber. I knew it was going to be a challenge, but I mean, I don't think the rubber was that big of a difference. It was just he just rolled the center just a tick better with that newer rubber, and that was the difference to be able to sneak under me.
Well, you're gonna come home with that second place finish. A great night. From what seemed like maybe a little bit of trouble during qualifying, but gonna get that hard charger award and come home P number 2, who makes it all possible for you to make it here across the country into Vegas.
I just want to thank Arner Kinsman's Auto Salvage, Xander Sign Group, you guys for doing this. It's always fun to watch it the day after, and everybody at the North-South Racing League. You know, this is a great street stock league, so I enjoy racing here every year, and I think that's probably it. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but
well, you forgot the orange rims, so we'll let it slide tonight.
Yeah, and now next week I'll have orange rims on a white car.
Most likely, but Mike, it's good to talk with you, buddy. Glad that I could give you a little bit of ribbon on there. I know you were disappointed when you pulled the car out of the box here tonight, and it was like, the orange rims aren't on it. But hey, the car looked good. We'll have to look and see. Last I knew, before the race started, over on the North-South Facebook page, you were leading the fan vote for the best appearing car. So we'll see how that turned out here in a little bit. But congratulations with your second place finish.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
There you go. Mike Alexander going to come home as P number 2. Kelly, you're going to come up with a hard-fought third place finish for Scott Austin.
Yeah, caught up now with the driver in the number 5, Scott Austin. And Scott, it seemed like some elbows out racing here tonight. And what was it from your perspective as you were trying to make your way up through the field?
Yeah, that it was. I mean, contrary to last week, we were talking about this week just being a good old short track, straight up, hard racing, elbows out racing, and that's what it was. I had a lot of fun.
Well, next week we are moving along pretty much another Bullring. Are you expecting the same thing out of South Boston as you saw here tonight?
Yeah, it should be more of the same. South Boston, kind of tends itself to opening up to 2 lanes later on in the race, so that should produce some good racing as well. But yeah, more of the same. We should have enough fuel to go the way. You can grab tires if you want to play it risky, and just should have some just good short track racing again.
And the championship standings, we have to still completely calculate them out after here tonight, but it should tighten up quite a bit after tonight. So what are you expecting here what do you expect from the chances between yourself and Bryan Hacker for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think getting Bryan and Ryan, both of those guys are so good every week. I'm kind of always just right behind them. So I still got some stuff to figure out, some stuff to learn, got to get a little faster. But it's been good to be up here. A few guys that are around me in points, 4th, 5th, things like that. I've had some unfortunate weeks, so good to be able to capitalize on that. And hopefully secure a top 3 if nothing else. But we're going to keep fighting. We'll try to get 1 and 2 also.
Well, Scott, thanks for coming out and talking to us. Before we let you go, though, who would you like to thank for your 3rd place run tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to Bryan. We've really been showing up each week now. It's pretty cool to see us running up front most weeks. Parking on the front stretch and seeing the photos throughout the week is nice. Thanks to you guys for putting on a good broadcast. I look forward to watching it every week. And all the other NSRL admins, they all put a lot of work in creating these rules and keeping everybody tidy. And it's a really good place to race.
Well, Scott, thanks for coming out and talking to us. Hopefully you have another good run next week, and we will maybe hear from you next week at South Boston.
Absolutely. See you guys next week.
That was Scott Austin, driver of the number 5, our 3rd place finisher tonight. And Al, we can send it back to you. I think it was a really good race tonight.
Yeah, I think if you were not entertained, you might want to take up crocheting or something. That was one of the best races of the season by far. That saw Bryan Hacker pick up the win here tonight in at the Sinister City 125 in the field. We'll box the cars back up in the haulers and head back east to South Boston in 1 week's time. And Kelly, I think with tonight's race, next week has the making of being even more entertaining. And I know that probably sounds hard to believe, but we know South Boston has 2 to 3 grooves of racetrack there.
Yeah, and I think it is going to be during the afternoon, so the track will be a little bit hotter, so we may see a bit more tire wear than we saw tonight. So there may be a lot more strategy calls and a few different lanes run at South Boston, so it should shape up to be a fairly interesting race. We may see a little bit more elbows out racing as we saw this week. We may see some guys making use of the choose cone once again, but I think South Boston should prove to be a very exciting race.
Yeah, and I think if you're one of these championship hopefuls, you go to South Boston, just want to minimizing the possibility of a bad night. We all know from being around the racing service a long time that the straightaways, well, they can become a parking lot, and you can get involved and destroy your car without even trying to do so. I think it's gonna be interesting to see that. I'm gonna call it the little short track of like the restrictor plate racing next week. I think a wild card race here to kick off the month of November before we take a little bit of a holiday for our little break here, Kelly. But we have 2 more races before that happens. South Boston and Myrtle Beach, both coming up in the month of November before we finish out the series in December. But tonight, a great race, a lot of good looking race cars, and unofficially, I believe it was Mike Alexander picking up the most votes on the North-South Racing League's Facebook page. So congratulations to him. I know he paints his own cars, and what a lot of great-looking hot rods out there this evening.
Yeah, I always love these themed paint nights. It allows these guys to show off their creativity, as I mentioned at the beginning of the night, and makes it for a really colorful race. And yeah, congratulations once again to Mike Alexander. A great-looking car, so a well-deserved win for him on this contest. So a little bit of extra money in his pocket should maybe lessen the sting of just barely missing out on the race win tonight.
Yeah, and we want to congratulate once again Bryan Hacker for picking up the win. Kelly, thank you for making the trip down south from you. I know it's a shorter trip home for you across the border back to Canada, but we hope to see you next week in South Boston, Virginia. We want to thank all of you for watching here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And until next week, keep it wheels down, and we'll see you in turn number 3. Good night, everybody.